Another player that City have been linked with is Eintracht Frankfurt attacker Omar Marmoush, who's been a standout performer in the Bundesliga this season. Reports in Egypt last week were claiming that the deal was practically done for about
Yeah.
50 million, but the reports from, other outlets and journalists in Europe have stated otherwise. It's understood that, no negotiations have taken place just yet. Frankfurt are yet to receive any offers, and I think the player has not indicated yet that he's willing to leave this month. So everything's sort of on the table at the moment regarding this one. He's been linked with a lot of clubs in Europe, and now City seems to be the latest one. Do you think he would be a good signing for City? Is he the right profile of player City should be looking for in January?
He's obviously having a bit of a breakout season, a decent season last year as well, where it was more like 15 goals, or I think something like that. It was around that in the tens, as opposed to pushing what you'd think would be 20 plus this season. I mean, currently I think he's on in the Bundesliga 15 goals in, so 13 goals in 15 matches and 7 assists. So 20 goals and assist contributions in 15 games in the Bundesliga. It's ridiculous. I think there is something in this. I think City are looking for killers. Guardiola's talked an awful lot about a lack of responsibility from players in terms of goals. We can't keep leading on Haaland constantly. Marmoush can play as a striker. He's played there a fair bit. He seems a very versatile player as well, which is very Guardiola. He likes players. Marmoush can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play behind the striker, he can play as a striker, and he seems to have that hunger for goals that City are lacking right now. Someone who I look at Liverpool right now, and I am a little bit jealous as a City fan because I look at Salah, brutal, Gakpo's just scoring quality goals. You got people like Diaz is very hungry, Jota. You got these real goal threats, and I think City had that at one point. I mean, I go back several years ago. It sounds crazy to say several, but at one point City had a forward line of Leroy Sane, who was scoring 15, 20 goals. Sterling was scoring 25, 30 goals. Aguero was scoring 30 goals. And then you had De Bruyne chipping in with 15, David Silva chipping in with 10 minimum. Then you had Jesus with 15 a season, Mahrez with 15, 20 a season. There was just goals everywhere. Like everyone was so hungry to score goals. And I think we've drifted away from that. And I think that's a very visible and real issue. But right now, we've got Haaland who scores a lot. Foden did last season, but he's dropped off massively. De Bruyne doesn't score as much as he used to. Doku has never scored a lot of goals. Grealish has never scored a lot of goals, and Savino's still getting started. Oscar Bob might score when he comes back, but ultimately, there isn't a backup striker. There isn't a regular goal scoring winger that we've got so far. Marmoush is a really good sort of profile, 25 years old, having a breakout season at Frankfurt. It would be available for a reasonable price, I reckon. Frankfurt have always sold. They're reasonably happy to sell, players if the money comes in. They've done it plenty of times. Haller, Jovic, Moani. So they've done it a few times before. I think this is genuine. I think City are interested in him. I do think he's probably been offered around a little bit because I think his agent's shopping around probably. But I would like him at Man City because I think there is always not every single player can take the next step up, but I think some players have the hunger and the smarts to sort of to take that step to an elite level club. Frankfurt are a very good club, don't get me wrong, but City are challenging for every single trophy in world football pretty much every year. So that is the standard. And I think Marmoush would come in and offer something very different. I like the way he plays. He's intelligent, he's direct, he's assertive. And I think it's some of the things that City are missing right now. Someone who's not afraid to shoot, who's not afraid to score goals, and someone who revels in that responsibility. And there's a lot of intelligence to his game, from what I can tell. Will he take it to the Premier League if he comes here? I don't know. But I think the City's links with him make an awful lot of sense because the versatility he's got, the goals he's got to his game, the profile, the age, 25 years old, very lot of experience in the Bundesliga. So he's ready to take that step up to become what he would hope would be a superstar somewhere. Yeah, I think there's something in this. I don't know if it'll happen in January. I think it sounds like more of a summer move. But Marmoush, I would take him in a heartbeat. I think there's a real quality there. It's a bit of a risk because we don't know if he can maintain that, maybe slightly overperforming. But I think the quality is undeniable.